Sup ballers, welcome to another video that makes you wish you could finally leave your house. We pick up after the 2022 season where we actually made the playoffs but were swept by the Dodgers in the NLDS. Pretty sure we just got lucky and don't know if we can repeat a regular season success this time around, but I think we're close to having a solid team, so let's see what happens. To start off, here are the before and after hires for personnel. Usually nothing too exciting here, but this time we have the best news a Rockies fan wants to hear in real life. Jeff Bridich is gone. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. For salary arbitrations, I mostly give one-year contracts near estimates with one exception. Alex Verdugo accepts a 5-year deal for $99 million. If he even remotely performs like he has at this point, it is money well spent. Due to the owner goals, I'm forced to extend Ken Giles, who accepts a 3-year deal worth $22.5 million. This might not be a bad signing, but I don't like having my hands tied here. Albert Amora Jr., Sean Newcomb, and Scott Oberg are all non-tendered and released into the wild.
Why drag this thing out anymore?
Just leave now.
Time for some trades. The Braves agree to send Lisandro Santos, Grayson Janista, and 2 minor leaguers for Josh Fuentes, Dakota Hudson, and a minor leaguer. Santos was my main target in this trade, but this could end up being a mistake later. I make a trade with the Diamondbacks, sending Ben Meyer and Archie Bradley, retaining 50% for a minor leaguer. I honestly just wanted to get rid of Bradley and was willing to eat part of his salary to do so. I come to terms with the Padres, sending Kyle Doey, Aaron Bummer, Vince Fernandez, and a minor leaguer for Manny Machado, retaining 30%, and 2 minor leaguers. But wait, why would I trade for Manny Machado if I have Nolan Arenado? For trade bait, that's why. Machado, Tyler Nevin, and a minor leaguer get sent to the Athletics for Mark Canha, retaining 50% and a minor leaguer. Mostly wanted the minor leaguer, but the backup outfielder is nice. Back to the Braves. I send Tyler Anderson and Grayson Janista, the former whom I had just traded from the Braves, for Bryce Wilson and 2 minor leaguers. I thought Wilson would be a good addition to the rotation, and taking a look here, he's got a great fastball and changeup, but it's still all potential. We'll see what happens. I make a trade with the Orioles, sending Josh Bobrowski and Johan Oviedo for Shea Langeliers and a minor leaguer. Langeliers was a first-round draft pick and might come in handy later. The Tigers agreed to a trade, sending another first-round pick, Andrew Vaughn, and 2 minor leaguers for Alice Sanchez, Nick Sandlin, and Trey Winginter, trying to get a lot of young talent for an extended run. Another trade, this time with the Pirates, sending Trevor Bauer, Colton Welker, and a minor leaguer for Tim Anderson, retaining 15% and a minor leaguer. At this point, I was just looking to dump payroll and Anderson can play backup for a bit, but the real prize was the minor leaguer Dante Mendoza. He has great stuff potential along with a fantastic changeup. I can't wait to see this guy develop. Finally, a trade with the Red Sox, sending Tristan Gray and a minor leaguer for Carlos Martinez, retaining 30% and a minor leaguer. You might be asking why I'd get rid of Gray since he was doing decently as a Rule 5 pick. I have Andrew Vaughn now and Grant Levine is in the pipeline, so I really don't need him. Jesus, this was a lot of trades.
Wow! 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 Wow!
To prepare for the Rule 5 draft, I DFA Tommy Doyle and Brent Honeywell Jr., as well as add Ross Adolph, Jordan Brewer, LJ Newsome, Matt Cronin, Dominic Fletcher, Grant Levine, and Kyron Paris to the 40-man roster. Leo Verpiguero was named Rookie of the Year, which makes 2 I've had in my time as GM of the Rockies. I think I have a pretty good eye for potential.
You tell me.
We reached the start of the free agency period, and here is some of the... Wait, is that fucking Felipe Vasquez again? Seriously?
And now, Last Week Tonight asks, how is this still a thing?
I offer international free agent Mon-Chu Chu a 3-year contract worth $9.75 million, but he comes back wanting more money. So I offer him $14.5 million over 3 years. Was that enough? Nope. I'd go up to $16 million over 3 years, but this guy is driving a hard bargain and wants even more. Normally I'd say fuck it, but I decided to keep going and offered him $24 million over 4 years, which he finally accepts. Will Harris agrees to a contract worth $4 million over 1 year. It's cheap enough that if I want to part with them, it's not that expensive to do so. I offer Luis Severino a 4-year contract worth $53 million. I don't want to spend too much money on this guy because I think he's due for regression. Of course he comes back wanting more, and I offer him $78 million over 5 years. Was that enough? Apparently not, because I find myself having to offer him $92.5 million over 5 years, which is my absolute top dollar. And of course, he wants more money, so I tell him to suck my... Along the way, the Miami Marlins have decided to rename themselves to the Valley Cats. This is one of those random events that out of the park tosses to add some variety to the proceedings, but somehow I don't see Miami changing their name to the Valley Cats. I'd see them relocating altogether before that happened. We reach spring training, and the only injury we have is Tucker Davidson, who is out for 13 months. Honestly, not too bad, we might be okay. Opening day is here, and after the usual demotions, these are the pitching assignments and lineup I'm left with. For the opening day game, this is the lineup I've chosen. As far as how this game went, I'll show you how Blake Snell's first inning went. The Giants' first batter, Alexis Pandoa, hits a soft single into right field on an 0-1 count. To follow that up, Monte Harrison walks on 4 pitches. We're already off to a bad start. Next batter, Marco Luciano, triples to left field, which is actually pretty hard to do, but thanks to Xander Bogaerts just holding the ball, he slides in with ease, driving in 2 runs in the process. Next up, Heliot Ramos, who strikes out on a full count for the first out. Okay, maybe Snell is finally about to come around. Nope, Ryan Notice sends a baseball over Levi's landing into the bay to drive in the runner from third, as well as himself. Beyond this, it really wasn't a bad game as we only lose 4-6, but definitely not a great start overall. Shortly after, Manchu Chu is out for gout.
This way I can concentrate on my new act. Hello, my name is Mada and I'm here to start the show.
Darwinzon Hernandez is out for 4 to 5 weeks. I call up Durbin Feltman to replace him. These are my new pitching assignments. We reach May with the mediocre record of 13-15, a .464 win percentage, 4th in the division. This is more or less what I'm expecting for now, and I'm gearing up for next season. These are my pitching stats, as well as my batting stats. I demote Cody Whitley, LJ Newsome, and Lisandro Santos, as well as call up Alvaro Sejas, Matt Cronin, and Zach Hess. These are my new pitching assignments. Darwinzon Hernandez is no longer injured and is sent on a rehab assignment. Ken Giles had a 22-game save streak, which for Colorado is pretty damn impressive.
Nice.
Liover Peguero is out for 2 weeks. I call up Grant Levine to replace him on the roster. This is my new lineup. We reached June with a 26-29 record, a .473 win percentage, 4th in the division, again straddling the line between a winning and losing record. These are my pitching stats, as well as my batting stats. I demote Zach Hess and Estevan Florial, as well as call up Darwinzon Hernandez and Dominic Fletcher. These are my new pitching assignments, as well as my lineup. Draft time, and we have the number 28 pick this time. Not much to choose from other than some expensive options, such as my number 1 pick who wants $8.5 million for a signing bonus, but my number 3 pick wants $4.6 million, and my number 8 pick wants $8.5 million. Blake Snell is out for... Great. I call up Jack Eater to replace him. These are my new pitching assignments. Matt Cronin is out for 5 weeks. I call up Davey Garcia to replace him. These are my new pitching assignments. Liover Peguero is no longer injured and is activated to the roster. To make room, I demote Grant Levine. This is my new lineup. Jose Alvarado is no longer injured and is sent on a rehab assignment. Mid-season goals time, and the owner is happy despite not being in a strong position for a playoff push. You know what? I'll take it. We reached July with a 39-43 record, a .476 win percentage, 4th in the division. Not a great record so far, but it could be worse, I guess. These are my pitching stats, as well as my batting stats. Taking a look at Julio Rodriguez, this dude is swinging at everything as hard as he can. He has a .268 average, a .900 OPS, and 27 home runs. I'll be keeping my eye on him as the season progresses because at this rate he could hit over 50. I make a trade with the the Valley Cats, and send Miles Mikolas retaining 70% and 2 minor leaguers for Pablo Lopez and 2 minor leaguers. This is a pretty even trade in my opinion since Mikolas is a free agent after this season. I also make a trade with the Cardinals sending Tim Anderson, Will Harrison, a minor leaguer for Paul Goldschmidt, retaining 30% and 4 minor leaguers. Andrew Vaughn isn't doing great at the moment and thought we could use some temporary help at first base. To make these trades work, I call up Jose Alvarado from his rehab assignment. These are my new pitching assignments, as well as my lineup. Alex Verdugo is out for 4 weeks and I call up Jordan Brewer to replace him. This is my new lineup. I make 2 more trades, the first with the Mariners sending Bryce Wilson, Davy Garcia, and a minor leaguer for Justin Dunn, Sam Delaplane, and Austin Adams. Mostly just wanted the pitching help and Wilson has been doing horribly as a Rocky. The second trade was with the Cubs sending Darwinzon Hernandez, Durbin Feltman, and 2 minor leaguers for Alex Faedo and a minor leaguer. These are my new pitching assignments. A bit later, I make 2 more trades, sending Xander Bogaerts, Dominic Fletcher, and 3 minor leaguers for Tyler Wade and 2 minor leaguers. Mostly did this to dump Bogaerts' salary and for the minor leaguers. The second trade was with the Reds, sending Mark Canha, the just acquired Tyler Wade, and 2 minor leaguers for Nick Castellanos and 2 minor leaguers. To make this trade work, I call up Ross Adolph and Greg Cullen. This is my new lineup. Matt Cronin is no longer injured and is sent on a rehab assignment. I make one last trade before the trade deadline, sending Shea Langeliers and Jose Alvarado for Jonathan Loaiziga, Mike Zunino, and a minor leaguer. I did this trade for Loaiziga, and if we take a look, he has great stuff and control, as well as a wicked curveball. Granted, in real life, the curveball doesn't do much in Colorado, but in this game, it should be of massive benefit. These are my new pitching assignments, as well as my lineup. We reach August, having fallen a bit more in our record to 50-56, a .472 win percentage, still 4th in the division. With all these moves, however, I expect we'll start to improve soon enough. These are my pitching stats, as well as my batting stats. I make no moves at this time. I play the game after the trade deadline, which usually is the ritual, but I've neglected to do so in this series. This is the lineup I've chosen for this game. The game was actually pretty good overall, but Liover Peguero had a game to remember. He hit this 2-run home run in the bottom of the 6th, which would be a great game for him all on its own, but in the bottom of the 4th he hit a ground rule double through a solid outfield wall.
Well, perhaps the laws of physics cease to exist.
We end up beating the Pirates 5-3, and for once we actually look like a real team. Granted, we were playing a terrible team, but who cares? As a result of this game though, Justin Dunn is out for 4 weeks, and I call up Lisandro Santos in his place. These are my new pitching assignments. Alex Verdugo is no longer injured and is sent on a rehab assignment, and Lisandro Santos is suspended.
You're suspended.
Matt Cronin's rehab assignment is over and I demote Lisandro Santos to make room. These are my new pitching assignments. Alex Verdugo's rehab assignment is also over and I demote Ross Adolph to make room. This is my new lineup. And Alvaro Seijas is suspended.
Now go to your corner and fucking cry like, oh, see, minion.
We reached September, having slightly improved to a 65-68 record, a .489 win percentage, 4th in the division. I'm feeling pretty good about our chances for next season and in no way view this year as a waste. These are my pitching stats, as well as my batting stats. Taking another look at Julio Rodriguez, his average has dropped slightly to .260 but has 45 home runs and .881 OPS as well as 168 strikeouts. This guy might be the modern day Joey Gallo at this point. Not only can he reach 50 home runs but 200 strikeouts as well. For roster expansion, I call up Lisandro Santos and Ross Adolph to fill the 2 roster spots. These are my new pitching assignments, as well as my lineup. And Alex Faedo is suspended.
Why don't you get the fuck out of here?
So that's 3 suspensions in a very short time, so I checked out the team chemistry wondering if something was up. Turns out they're actually pretty happy. I guess if you can't beat them, beat the shit out of them.
Against Perdomo. Here goes Nolan out to the mound. Look at this. And the benches have cleared.
Justin Dunn is no longer injured and is sent on a rehab assignment. Alex Faedo, on the other hand, is out for 4 to 5 weeks, or basically the rest of the season. I don't bother to replace him. These are my new pitching assignments. We reached the end of the season with the winning record somehow, 82-80, a .506 win percentage, 4th in the division. As I suspected, we're finally heading in the right direction. These are my pitching stats to end the season, as well as my batting stats. Julio Rodriguez ended the season on an absolute tear with a .280 average, 57 home runs, a .942 OPS, 4.1 wins above replacement, as well as exactly 200 strikeouts.
I'll have what she's having.
Taking a look at the entire league, however, Rodriguez was only third in home runs, losing out to Gleyber Torres having an absolutely memorable season. Just wow. As far as who won the World Series, I'm running out of ideas for trash can gags. Leave a comment with an idea. To end the season, the owner is happy with my performance despite being upset we didn't make the playoffs, and fan loyalty increases. Not the most exciting ending to an episode, but whatever. I have nothing else for you. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe because, seriously, it's the most exciting thing you'll do today since you're stuck at home and there's only so much internet porn out there.